So today I want to go over my complete launch plan, what I'm going to be doing to get prepared for Season 1. Season 1 will be coming out around 6 weeks, supposedly, based on some achievements inside the game after the launch of the game. Therefore, we want to get as ready as we possibly can, either getting through and experiencing as most of the game, or getting some stuff that will scale between seasons done. That way we can blast Season 1 without any issues whatsoever. Let's get into it. The first thing we have to talk about are the altars of Lilith. If you watch any single guide, the number one priority should be getting the altars of Lilith done. Why? Because it's one of two things that can actually scale between seasons, but also give you permanent power increasing. That is super, super important. Now, I will note, these are not insane power boost individually, but as you accumulate every single altar of Lilith across all the maps, you're going to acquire several different forms of attributes, because you can get +2 strength, +2 intelligence, dexterity, etc. from each one of these, and these do start to stack, especially on a newer character, right? The further you get into the game, the more stats you have, which means the altars of Lilith will be less effective in the grand scheme of things. But when you start a new character, these are going to be a majority of your stats potentially, depending on how many you can acquire in the initial run of the game. I recommend following a map. Here's an example of Aftershock GG Diablo site, where we have a map depicting the exact optimal path through each altar, so you guys can go ahead and run in basically a circle around the whole map and pick up all of them. Super, super useful, and definitely something that you're going to want to do immediately. So that's going to be the first thing you're going to want to do as soon as the season starts across all maps. The next thing I want to mention is to get additional bonuses while going through the campaign, because that's going to be the number one priority. And in order to do that, we need some sort of XP bonus. The first way you get XP bonus is through the potion system. You're going to want to pop a potion no matter where you are, when you are. This gives you a small amount of additional experience throughout the game. You can craft these at the alchemist. You can go ahead and go through and use your herbs potentially to craft some potions. This is going to be incredibly important to get some residual additional experience going through the campaign. The other way to get XP bonuses, and this is something that a lot of people don't know about, and I'll pull up the interactive map, which I'll leave a link down below. This is definitely a super useful tool when launching the game. Up here in Court Dragon here, there is going to be a campfire. Now, I'm not exactly sure on the exact location, but this campfire activates, and if you stand by it, you get a stacking experience bonus. This experience bonus is going to give you a potential, I believe, 15% total additional experience for a duration of 15 minutes. Now, this might not seem a lot, but if you're going AFK or whatever, standing by this fire and getting that experience bonus is going to help you out later on. This does end up paying off, especially if, again, you can just teleport over here and then get some free XP bonusing while you're just sitting around. Because if we activate the waypoints here, you can see there's one relatively close, and when we get the mounts, it should be pretty easy to get to Core Dragon. Now, along with the altars of Lilith, there's one other feature that scales between seasons, and that is the campaign. Once you finish the campaign first, you're going to unlock the skip campaign function, which scales between seasons. Okay, so if you want to get as much progression in the future as possible, finishing campaign should be your number one priority, along with the altars of Lilith. Even if you don't care about that, unlocking World Tier 3 is locked behind the campaign. So you have to finish the campaign no matter what, if you even want to attempt the end game. This is a really important feature to note. Campaign should be your number one focus, along with altars of Lilith. The reason why I kind of put them in separately, however, talking about them as a together primary focus, is because while you're doing the campaign, oftentimes you can pick up several of the altars of Lilith on your way to different campaign locations. And same with the XP potions and the campfire, you can just activate those while doing the campaign, so you can get some bonuses in the same time, which is really nice, and allowing you to help you progress towards that end game for this current iteration of the first 6 preseason weeks, as well as helping you in the first actual season. Another core mechanic, and I'm going to bring up the interactive map here, by the way. I will leave a link to this down below. This is so massive. I use this for all the different games. There's so many different interactive maps nowadays, and they're so nice. But the aspect system is core to every single player's build. You're going to want to load up as many aspects as possible that are working for your build. And in order to find those, you kind of have to rely on RNG. However, there are some dungeons that actually give you specific aspect. Okay, for example, the aspect of encircling blades for the rogue here is going to be in the Forsaken Quarry dungeon. This allows you to have flurry deal damage to enemies in a circle around us, which is actually a pretty solid aspect, and you can kind of formulate a flurry build around that. So finding out the aspects that are guaranteed and some potential ones that you might want to go for that will help out your build could be super game changing, because legendary aspects really change the game for any build, not just, you know, specific early game builds, but any build in the game. And lastly, the ultimate priority for the first 6 weeks is to get to end game, experience it, let you kind of figure out what's going on, figure out how to make a build, figure out how to do the content, how the nightmare sigils work. This is going to be something that we're all experiencing all at the same time. It's going to be a big learning curve. So as much time as you can invest into the end game as possible, that will be great, which means you want to get to the higher world tiers as fast as possible. Now, me personally, I would like to run with optimized builds and try to get all the different skill points in the game. So that includes running around and finishing the renown system while doing the campaign and leveling up quickly so I can access those higher world tiers. And more importantly, the higher world tiers, specifically world tier 3 and world tier 4, those will give you loot ranges from level 50 to 70 and 70 to 100 respectively. However, the level requirement for that gear will be your level. Meaning if you're level 50, you could drop a level 70 statted piece that's required level 50 requirement. Meaning you can wear a level 70 piece at level 50, which means you'll get better gear the sooner you arrive in world tier 3, and it'll allow you to streamline your progression even harder to scale into the end game and then get better loot even more so as you accelerate your world tiers and accelerate your end game progression. This is super key to helping you get to that end game in the first preseason. Now, of course, the most important part of this whole experience is having fun. You all spent $70 on a game. You guys should get the most out of your money. If that means blasting through the game as fast as possible so you can experience all the content, do that. If that means experiencing the cutscene slowly, reacting to the dialogue, just experiencing the story, do that. It does not matter to me. All I want to do is help those that may want to streamline their progression a little bit easier. And of course, I personally will be doing this and then reading up on the story later on, because I want to get to the end game. I want to experience the game. I want to have some fun, and I want to prep for season 1 to where we can try to blast it. Not as hard as some other people out there. You know, I'm not going to be playing 40 hours straight, but I will be playing an absolute ton, maybe 20 hours straight, and giving you all that content, because that's what I'm going to be focusing on, helping you all play the game and helping you all have the best experience possible. So if you have any further suggestions on some videos that you might want to see, or potentially anything that you're interested in, let me know in the comment section down below. Sub to the channel, guys. I'll be here for a long time covering Diablo 4, and I'll see you all for the next one.